Fairy, and welcome to this weirdly lit midnight vlog. So, this is the new house that we moved into like 6 months ago. If you guys haven't watched my recent update videos, I will link the most recent one up here. The short version is there were a lot of things going on with their house being remodeled when we moved in, so we weren't really able to unpack a lot of stuff until very recently. I'm filming this on October 14th, so we moved around June 12th or something like that, so that gives you kind of an idea of how long it's been. Anyway, all of the renovations are done, so that means that I get to start unpacking. If you hear any squeaking, my cat has decided to make an appearance. Flannery! Yeah, you want to be in the video? This is my cat, Flannery. We call him Flan for short. He's a little whiny boy. Right now he's 8 months old. Please excuse any cat noises. Also, I know that a lot of you in the comments are going to tell me that I don't need to say this, but I greatly apologize for my appearance in this video. Like I said, it is literally like 12:30 or 1 o'clock or something at night. I'm wearing my pajamas and my hair very desperately needs to be done. I haven't cut or dyed it in a few months, so I'm really sorry. With that, I thought that it might be fun for me to kind of film and document some of my unpacking process with my sewing room items. If you can kind of see behind me, there is the top portion of my desk that you can see in this shot. So I have done a little bit. I did that unpacking back in like August. I unpacked about half of my stuff, but it didn't really get too organized. So now that I'm actually able to unpack, I can finish, and then I'll have a functional sewing area. This is all part of my quest to come back to YouTube for real, actually. So I guess for now, I will kind of give you a quick view of what the hellscape looks like in here, and then we'll get going with some unpacking and organization, hopefully. I really want it to be organized in here. Okay, so this is the current state of things. As you can see, like I said, it is an absolute hellscape. What are you looking at? So the last time that I unpacked, I kind of got things pulled out. Excuse me, our floors are like insanely creaky, so please try to ignore that. I really apologize. Anyway, so I packed most of my stuff in these two really large bins. So the last time that I was in here unpacking, I kind of tried to pull everything out. You can't see it right now, but all of my fabric has been unpacked. All of my, I don't know, craft stuff is over here. And I'm really just at a stage where things need to be organized and put away. This isn't even mine. I don't know why it's here, so that's gonna have to go. And then this is my roommate Lexi's area. They just started unpacking this weekend a bit. And then there is a huge hellscape of boxes, which is my other roommate Maddie's. She has not begun unpacking, as you can tell. But yeah, we're each kind of planning to have our own corner, so it were, I guess. But yeah, that should be just about everything. So I will cut to a voiceover and me unpacking. Alright, so starting off here, I found a box off to the side that I had kind of forgotten about, so I went into that and grabbed the remaining items out of there. Mainly it was the power strip and then this bigger drawer system that I'll kind of go through later. Everything in the house is really dusty because of some of the renovations that they'd been doing, so periodically you'll see me wiping down all the shelves and such with Pledge to kind of get rid of some of that construction dust. This bin that I just placed, I'll kind of talk about it later, but it's got some of my work in progress stuff in there, and it doesn't really fit in any of the cubes, so it's going up top. And then this mug is my favorite. I love it. I'm just drinking water during this because it was super sweaty. And then aside from my actual sewing desk, I've got this little cube organizer. These shelves kind of have random stuff. I just held up, my roommate's got a lizard and we feed the lizard roaches, so that was some cockroach food. So just kind of taking the random stuff out of these shelves so I can use it for actual cosplay storage. Again, as you can see, they're really dusty, so I'm just trying to kind of wipe those off before I get everything placed in there. So these plastic bags, they're actually filled with my current project fabric. When I moved, I kind of tried to keep everything together so I wouldn't misplace it. Here I'm kind of pulling out my heels. I had forgotten that they were in there for this costume, so. But anyway, any of these plastic bags are all filled with current projects. Again, just did that to keep it all together. This is some of my fabric that I'm using for my Stalking cosplay. I'm super excited to get going on that. And then this little bag just has some of my resin from Umbreon. For now, I'm just placing this random stuff back in there until we find a better home. And then under my desk, I thought these bins were empty. I opened this one and found that there was still some stuff in there, so just taking it out. Mostly in this bin there was just some excess fabric. Some of it was for a personal project. This is a hoop skirt here that I'm jamming back into this bag. That's going into storage. And a couple random crafting things and some loose fabric that I use for draping my patterns. Again, with anything you guys see me pull out in these bags, I will definitely go over more later. Alright, so that's those bins empty. They went down to the basement. Now it's time to put these large bags of stuff away. So my desk does also have cubes underneath here, as you can see, and I try to not keep anything that I'm really going to be using often down there just because it's kind of a pain in the butt to dig around underneath to find things. So down here I'm just putting some fabric that I won't be using as much. Again, this stuff is for a personal project. I'll go over it later, but I'm not going to be doing that right away, so that can kind of go in a more hidden spot. Right here, just jamming again some more of my fabric away. This is more current project fabric or just regular fabric, so that can go in a regular cube. These balls are for wig styling and I wasn't quite sure where to put them, so they just ended up in one of those drawers. So this is my serger. I'm trying to find a spot to put it. It does not fit in the cubes, and if I put it on the bottom it took up too much space, so I opted to put it to the side for now and we'll find a permanent spot for it later on. So this little bin in the back here kind of got pushed in there, and then a bunch of stuff got piled on top of it. So going through some of the piles, that was a packet that I gave the judges when I competed with my Peach costume. I've got a pattern from Mango Cyrene, who goes by Faunina now, and then that was my cosplay planning binder. I'm planning to do a video soon on how I plan my costumes. I've also got some swatches of silk, and then a bunch of random stuff, like I said, got piled in that bin, so that's what I'm going through now. This is just some twill tape, which I use when I make corsets to reinforce the waist, and then this is just some ribbon that I was using as a corset tie at some point, so those are just going into storage. That is iron-on stabilizer. These are my grommet pliers, which need to go in with my corset supplies, and then just a few other random notions in this bin. As you can see, one of my things of Swarovski crystals broke open during the move, so I had to clean those out, but after that I'm just kind of putting everything away in this bin that needs to go in there. Okay, so I'm not fully done, of course, but this is definitely... Where have you been? Literally have been wondering where he went off to for like a while now. Again, excuse the cat noises and the heat turning on. Anyway, so I finished emptying out the large bins that were underneath my sewing table. What? The stuff that's on top of these cubes is going to be going elsewhere. The 3 shoe boxes are going up to my bedroom. There's a box of wigs there, and then a couple bolts of fabric. What? He wants me to hold him. Needy. But the general idea is kind of here, so I'll kind of give a better tour tomorrow after everything's fully set, but over here I'm planning to keep fabric for my current projects. If you guys saw, I did also jam some fabric underneath there. That is for my partner. That's kind of a separate thing from sewing, so, or from cosplay, I mean, not from sewing. So tomorrow, again, excuse the floor, I'm so sorry. I'm going to be going to Target to get some bins that I can put this fabric in, because this one will definitely try to eat any loose fabric. I do have my stocking corset pulled out. That's been on my dress form for a while. And then I got my sewing machine and everything plugged in, my power strip. I finally found these bins. I didn't know where they were for a while. I've got my serger here for now. I think once I get everything finalized, it's just going to live on top of those cubes. It'll be a little bit safer of a place for it. I didn't bring my chair out here. It's currently in a different room. I really need to sweep and clean the floors in here, since this definitely dredged up a lot of dust and cat hair. Yep, so got the sewing machine, and then I also got my lamp set up. This is like one of those weird dumb adult things that I love. I got this at Target. I can't remember how much it was, but I know it was more than I wanted to spend, but it's just got this little touch button on it. It's got 3 different brightnesses, so it'll be really helpful in this room because all there is a single light. So really happy about that. In general, anything that we have that's on bolts is going into a separate room, which is off the side of the living room. Yeah, so the 2 bolts that are on top of the cube storage right now, I'm actually using for my Stalking cosplay, so those won't be going into storage right away, but that's where they'll end up. I'm so sorry, I look crazy. Yeah, that'll be all for tonight. Like I said, tomorrow going to Target to get some cubes, and then hopefully I will be done. Next day, I'm sorry if the quality is different. I'm not feeling very well today, and honestly, I can't really be bothered to go get my video camera and do a whole setup, so this is just on my phone. But I went to Target today and got a couple of these like cheap little cube things, so I'm going to pull these bags that have current project fabric in them and sort them into bins, and that should be about it. I did do a bad today and may have bought some fabric for a new project. That will be its own video coming very soon, so that's what that is. But anyway, let's get to it. And then here I am getting my current project fabric put away. So like I said earlier, these plastic bags were just temporarily storing all my current project fabric to keep them together. So this is the stuff that I just bought. Those colorful fabrics are for my partner. We're making him a costume, and then these 2 black ones are for me, which is what I'll be covering on this channel. I'm super excited to get started on that. Actually, right after I finish this voiceover, I'm planning on going to work on that costume. My cat Flannery decided to pay us a visit during this portion. So this bin is going to be for my Umbreon fabric. I am just about done with my Umbreon costume, but there are still several pieces that I need to finish on that. So it's still getting its own bin until I'm 100% done, and then anything left over will just get sorted into my regular storage. And then for my last bin, I've got my Stalking fabric. My friend Bree and I are doing panty and stocking angel versions, so I've posted some work in progress photos on my Instagram back in the spring when I started this. I haven't really touched it since before I moved, since I couldn't really sew while I moved, but I'm really excited to get back to working on that one as well. Okay, so it's now 2 days later, and I've pretty much just gotten everything into place. So I'm just going to give you guys kind of a quick run through where everything is at right now. It is still a little bit messy, but as you know, my roommates get their stuff cleaned up, then I'll be able to kind of figure out my storage a little bit better. But for right now, the bins here on the top of this cube, this one has my Umbreon project in it. This one has stocking, and then this one has materials for Halloween costumes. So those are just where I'm planning to keep the materials for my current project, so it's just kind of all together. Down below, there's not really anything too wild. I have my stocking heels over here. I don't really have a spot for those yet, and some cotton that I use for draping. Again, Flannery has come to say hello. In the middle cube in that yellow bag, that is the silk from my Amaterasu project. That one has been on hold for about 2 years now. I'm thinking that fabric is just going to be going into storage, but I just haven't really had the chance to figure out what I'm going to do with that yet, so that's still there. And then that cube is kind of like just some miscellaneous stuff that still needs a home. I need to take that salt back up to my altar, and then there's a few other random things in there. And then on top, just for now, I have a bolt of organza and a bolt of tulle. Those are both going to be for my stocking project. Do you need to be picked up? You just want to be held. I've also got my Umbreon hat there, and then I've got this Okami clock that my old roommate left behind at our last house, so I claimed it, and that'll get hung up somewhere eventually. So my sewing table, this is actually like a not super cheap but fairly cheap build yourself furniture kind of thing off of Amazon. I think it was like 150 bucks or something. I actually bought this back in January. The one that I had been using got broken during the move, so this is a new one, but it's the same exact thing. The only thing that I hate is that the cubes in it are just barely too small to fit these 11-inch cubes from Target, so that kind of sucks. You really gotta jam them in there, and then like they don't get in all the way. So Eventually I have to figure out, maybe get different cubes or something. I'm not too sure. But on the end here, I just have some miscellaneous fabric storage. So this is going to be all my woven fabric. That is going to be all my knits. And then there's another bin hiding. That's all fleece. This right here, that red and the bag underneath are from a project I started like 4 years ago. I don't really think that that is going to happen anymore, so those fabrics also need to get put in storage, but as you can see, I need to go through my bins. And then Flan's comfy, so I'm not going to move him, but under there, all the cubes pretty much are filled with wool and minky fabric. That's for a cloak that I'm making for my partner. There's also a white bin down there. That used to be a tub for model magic, but now I use it to store, I think there's like some monster clay in there, which is like an oil-based clay that you can use for modeling. There's like liquid latex. There's a bunch of weird stuff in there, so it just lives down there. And then actual sewing table. Again, I've got my lamp that I love so much from Target, as well as my cat. The machine that I use is a Singer Talent. I've had this for about 6 years now, and I really, really like it. Bless you. There are definitely some things that it's not super great at, but for my needs currently, I'm not really looking at getting a new sewing machine anytime soon, so would definitely recommend. Over here in these cubes, this one currently has some weird stuff in it. It still has an almost empty can of Pledge in there and a dirty rag. That cord is the presser, or not the presser foot, the pedal for my serger. The serger that I have, just to kind of skip over, is a Brother 1034D. I cannot tell you guys how much I love this serger. I know this is like a little bit of a weird tangent to get on. The short version of my serger tangent is, if you guys did not know, I used to go to apparel design school, and I used a lot of different sergers in my time there. We had to for class, and I hated pretty much all of them. All of them were really awful to use, and I just didn't enjoy it, but I ended up getting this one for Christmas a few years ago, and I adore it. I love it so much, and I can't recommend it enough. So if you guys are looking for a serger, please consider this one. It's super user-friendly, easy to thread. It just is a dream. I love it. Anyway, serger tangent aside, so the pedal for it is there right now, and then that binder is what I use to plan my cosplays. That'll be a separate video, but any paperwork about that just goes in there, and I've got a pattern and a couple other things back there. Over here in this weird little bin are just kind of some various things. A lot of it is stuff that I use often, so that gets pulled to the front, and then some stuff that I don't use as often gets put to the back. So I've got, I know my Wonder Clips are in here, which are like substitutes for pins. I've got like chalk in there, and then in the back I've got plastic wrap, iron-on stabilizer, a thing of spray starch, kind of weird stuff. Also, in case I ever need it, I do keep my manuals on hand. Those are just back there behind that bin. Right here is just a little 3-drawer thing that holds some of my notions. These labels are from like 5 years ago, so I need to redo them, but generally it is kind of buttons, lace and bias tape, and then like other. So right now there's like a lot of Swarovski. I think this is elastic thread, like weird stuff. My little iron also chills over here, and I get runny noses a lot, and there's a roll of toilet paper here for that, so that's why that's there. This bag is a bunch of pants and dress shirts that I need to alter for my partner. So those will not be staying here for long. I really need to get those back to him. And then up on top here, this bin on this side is generally things that need to be altered. As you can see, it's very tall. That's why those are a separate bag. Some of it is like pants, some of it is like that skull thing is a cardigan, so I really need to clear that out as well. I believe this is also a Materasu fabric, so I think that costume is somewhere in there. Right here is just some more general storage. I know I keep a lot of zippers up in that top one, a lot of random stuff up in that top one. This middle one, I need to go through this really bad, but I know that there's some horsehair braid in there, as well as my rotary cutter and my scissors. And then the bottom, I can see in the front there's some twill tape. There's also, looks like metallic origami paper, and that's something I use for resin to back my project. So that just has a lot of random stuff that I need to go through. Up there I've got 2 wig heads. That is for Tokyo Mew Mew Mint and Okami Amaterasu. Those probably aren't going to be staying here because I feel like cats are going to get them, so they'll probably be moving. And then next to my sewing table here, next to my rolly chair, I've got 2 of these little bin doodads. I'm not really going to go through these in a ton of detail. On top here I have my old shower curtain that needs to go in storage. Again, we're just unpacking now, so I apologize for the amount of like mess and random stuff. Old shower curtain, peach umbrella. Back there are my shoes for Umbreon. And then in the drawers we've got paint, adhesives, dye, and apparently a pair of pliers. Then we've got stuff for resin, stuff for corsets, and wig styling tools. So that's kind of what that looks like. Thank you guys for watching this little video of me working on unpacking my sewing space. I actually am about to start working on my Halloween costume, which is going to be its own video, so you guys can look forward to that. I'm really excited to get going with that. I'm also planning to do a couple other videos soon as I'm feeling a bit better. If you can tell, I look like really tired. Still not feeling the best, so I'm hoping once I'm feeling a bit healthier, I can get to filming those videos. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.